YB stays on your neck.
He said, Adji Kiaba wasn't in the camp. Oh, who else did he spar with? I said, sparred with Joey Deweco. Oh, Joey Deweco knocked him out.
There's strong rumours about Joey Deweco.
But, you know, then I'm not in camp. I speak to AJ, I speak to Rob, I speak to all the people. No, not at all. They had 2 spars, not at all.
So where did the Joey Deweco rumours come from?
How many times has AJ had a fight where the rumours are he's been dropped in camp?
Everyone's dropped him.
Every fight.
Currently Dubois,
exactly.
Joyce, everyone.
And actually, the only one that when you speak to AJ, he talks about is David Price. Dropped me in sparring, and he's not the kind of guy that would sort of deny it or hide from it.
There's certain stories that have come out in regards to yourself and Anthony in the past. Is there any truth to you actually knocking down Anthony Joshua in sparring in the past?
Yes, there is definitely truth to that. I'm not going to deny it. I've sparred him. I've caught him with some big shots. And
even drops in sparring? No.
I mean, again, I wasn't there. I speak to 12 people that were there. Absolutely not is the response.
The black eye?
It wasn't a black eye. It was from a compression machine. You know that you press in your things that went on his face, and it took the skin. Yeah. You don't get. Yeah.
Yo, my Dans, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So we just heard there from Eddie Hearn. Now, what can I say? Very interesting. What I like to do, as I've always said, I judge people and analyse situations on a case-by-case basis. Many people have come to me and said, oh, YB, you're saying this proves that Eddie Hearn was lying about the Wilder situation. Oh, YB, yeah, man, YB, now you can see that Wilder was in the right all along. Eddie Hearn lie. He never sent an offer. All that Cali Enigma milkshake type of thing. No, that's not the case at all. A case-by-case basis. You've got people now literally coming out and trying to tell me that Eddie Hearn was lying in the Ortiz situation because of this. No. The Ortiz situation, the receipts are there. And that's why it's important to judge people on a case-by-case basis. Just because they're wrong in one situation does not necessarily mean they're wrong in another situation. Same as Wilder. The other day I gave Wilder his props for calling a spade a spade. Most of the time I don't because he's full of crap. But anyway, to the point of this video, let's get on it. Eddie Hearn, and you've got to bear in mind, this all goes into everything that's gone on. I've been saying from the start, Eddie Hearn, he's in deep here. He is a conspirator. He can't come out and admit anything or whatever. He has to defend his case. However, his actions in defending other parts around his story have exposed him. Anyway, he says he denies the mark on AJ's face. Oh yeah, this was a machine that you plug in and all this BS. What? Okay, if it's a physio machine, Eddie Hearn denies the mark on the face was from sparring. Oh, it was a physio machine. Yeah, this, that, the other. Number one, I'd be really intrigued to know, oh yeah, he was trying to explain the machine it was. Oh yeah, it sucks your face. Okay, physio is to do with bones and muscle. What bone and what muscle is on the top of your cheekbone? Seriously. What possibly could you be doing? What physiotherapy could you possibly be doing? There's no joints around there. It makes no sense at all. And if there was a bruise anyway, what physiotherapy gives you a blatant bruise? That's the other thing that doesn't make no sense to me. A little tiny bruise which looks like it'd be a hit. Makes no sense to me. Number one, what were they rehabbing then? I've never heard of an upper cheek injury before. And if so, what machine were they using on the upper cheek? That little tiny mark, which perfectly looks like a hit mark to me, because at the top of you can feel your own cheekbones now. Your cheekbone has a summit, has a peak, and that's why AJ's got a mark there. Because he would have been hit on the peak, which makes sense. Because it points out. It's like almost like your nose. You always end up getting hit on the top of your nose. Because that's the pointy end. But anyway, that's the first thing that, in my opinion, exposes things. The fact they're defending that. For me, I would have come out and just said, listen, yeah, we've been having sparring, you get caught, it happens. The fact that he's come out and defended this, oh yeah, no, it was physio, that to me smells fishy. It smells like you're defending something there that doesn't make no sense. As I've said, if I'm wrong, any physiotherapist or anyone who knows anything about physiotherapy, comment below. People have told me, oh well, he was having acupuncture. Acupuncture don't leave bruises. The acupuncture doesn't leave an inch bruise. It's a tiny little needle. It don't leave massive bruises on your cheekbone. Not at all. And besides, I've never even heard of... Well, not I necessarily would have, but I've never heard of having acupuncture in your cheekbone either. Maybe I'm wrong though. But that's that thing cleared up. The fact Eddie Hearn denies the marks on the face is telling to me. It's like it follows the whole story, adding to the cover-up. Oh yeah, well that... And I think you got to ask yourself now, if he can make stuff up about the mark on the face, why wouldn't he make other stuff up to do with this situation? Anyway, moving on. This bit to me was more telling, because we actually have proof that this is a porky pie. Eddie cover-up Hearn. What do we know? He goes on to say, all of the sparring rumours, and initially he does a good job. He says, oh yeah, initially I heard that Ajit Kabel put Joshua down, but then I told them Ajit Kabel wasn't in the camp. So initially you think, oh well, fair point, Eddie. Yeah, originally it was Ajit Kabel and another guy, forgot the guy's name. Allegedly it was 2 other people to start with, and then it ended up, then Eddie Hearn confirmed that Joey Duwaco was in the camp, and that's when everyone jumped on the bandwagon. And at that point you sit there and think, you know what, wow, Eddie Hearn's kind of bummed people there, because the initial rumours that did come out, they weren't even in the camp. However, where he drops the ball, where he catches himself out, unfortunately, like, if you're dealing with most of these YouTube goons, they ain't got the IQ, they haven't got the monk. I've got the monk inside me. YB hashtag monk. I've got the detective inside me. Yeah? What we do know is, Eddie Hearn then goes on to say, the Silver Tongue Devil then goes on to say, all this business of Joshua being dropped, I've never heard, the only one I've ever heard of is the David Price situation. Yeah, it's all made up. I've never heard of, we've always heard of Joshua being put down in sparring before. They're all made up lies sort of thing. Essentially denying that Joshua has ever been put down before, apart from David Price. Now, the David Price one, fine. But what about all the other people? As an example, Daniel Dubois came out and said he'd knocked Joshua down. Now, Daniel Dubois isn't an outgoing dude. It's not as if you can say, oh, well, Daniel Dubois is like Tyson Fury. He's full of crap. He makes up lies all the time. Daniel Dubois is very, very reserved. And I do not believe Dubois would come out. And he didn't shout it from the rooftop, but an interviewer asked him, and he more or less said yes, he had put Joshua down in sparring before. So the fact Eddie Hearn comes out and denies anyone else apart from David Price, that tells me, what's going on here? We all know Daniel Dubois, also Lawrence Okoli. Lawrence Okoli is Team AJ, but he was asked, here's another one, who, alright, what happened in sparring stays in sparring, but there's been other people who have been asked before, have you put AJ down? And they've flat out denied it. No, I haven't. And that's the problem here. That's the issue with people saying no comment. Because with subjects like this, how it works is, if you didn't put him down, you'd say, no, it's a lie, I didn't do it. I didn't put him down. But when you did do it, they say, oh, no comment. No one that didn't put Joshua down says, no comment, no comment. They just say, no, I didn't. But the people who did, they say, oh, no comment. Oh, what stays in sparring, stays in sparring. So ultimately, the fact Eddie Hearn's denying the marks on the face, the fact he's denying Joshua ever being dropped in sparring apart from David Price, it just fishiness, man. Pure fishiness. And for me personally, let me get this cleared up quickly. I don't think there's anything wrong with Joshua being put down in sparring. Not that I encourage it, but I think that's where you're supposed to be put down. What we do know is, minus this Ruiz fight, Joshua's got a rock solid chin, and even the Klitschko fight, to be honest with you, his chin was rock solid. In fact, even this Ruiz fight, his chin was rock solid. Now people could say I'm being a fanboy, but I initially said Joshua was chinny, and I was trolling him. But on hindsight, what I'm about to say is actually worse for AJ. But Joshua, in my opinion, has one of the worst gas tanks in history, and that's what it is. Because look, when you look at AJ's knockdowns, the Ruiz fight, the Klitschko fight, he gets hit and he kind of stumbles around and flops over. It's not a short circuit. Now, don't get me wrong. When he got clipped by Ruiz, his back leg did stanky a bit, but he caught it. That's my point. Many people who get hit, Khan, Fury, they get hit and their lights are just flat out. There's no stumbling around and falling over. And I believe because what happens with Joshua, he runs out of gas. And that's why you never see him unconscious. Whenever Joshua hits the mat, he's always fully conscious, fully in control of his body. He's just gassed out of his arse. Whereas other people, their eyes are rolling around, they're showing no vital signs, they're showing no signs of life. Joshua's never had that. Joshua's never had his eyes closed and looping around. You've never seen the whites of AJ's eyes. That said, the fact Joshua does go down in real fights is not good. It's even worse in that sense. The fact that you can't get yourself into good enough shape that you have to end up falling over. A big 6'5" Adonis all over the floor, rolling around the place, spitting his gum shield out because he can't get oxygen in. That's more embarrassing. I'd rather be Fury. I'd rather my lights go out than just run out of gas. There's no excuse for that. It's embarrassing. You couldn't be disciplined enough, or you couldn't hire the right people to get you in cardiovascular shape. That's more embarrassing than being chinny. At least being chinny, you can say, well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. God bless me with Amir Khan genetics. But the fact that Joshua Hay has the chance to condition himself, but he's for whatever reason, is not coming in the right shape. So it's even worse than being chinny. But anyway, that's here nor there, to be fair. This for me, I'll be intrigued to see what you guys think. Maybe I'm reading into this too much. Do you think the marks on the face, maybe there's a reason for it? Comment below if you've got a reason for the marks on his face, not being from a hit. And also, that's one last thing I want to say. For me, most people, when they have a mark on their face, they just say, yeah. I remember Fury had a mark on his head, and he said, yeah, I've been having tough rounds or whatever. Most people just say that, but the fact, Hearn and AJ, they said, what's that mark on your face? He went, physio. The fact they've all pandered to it, it shows to me there's a bit of nervousness. They're overreacting to this. Most people would just say, yeah, it was a knock on the, I got hit on the thing. But he said, oh no, Joshua came out real defensive from the start, which tells me potentially there's something more going on. I.e., he was concussed, i.e., he was knocked down, but didn't want the authorities to know. Maybe Joshua couldn't come out and say, in that interview with Radio Raheem, he couldn't come out and say, oh yeah, I got put down 8 days ago, or I've been having hard sparring thing, because the New York Commission might have come round, because the New York Commission are very strict, they might have come round and said, what's been going on here then? Hence why he had to, physio, and that's why they're still defending it now, which implies a cover-up. Why so sensitive? I just don't get that. It's not as if you're in tennis. You're in a head damage sport. So it wouldn't be a shock to have a mark on your face, would it? But the fact they've pandered to this and given pathetic excuses, I think it's fishy, man. The fact that he's denying all the rumours that other people, Daniel Dubois, has admitted to. Oh, so you telling me Daniel Dubois is lying? I don't believe it, I'm sorry. I don't. And I don't think it makes Joshua a lesser fighter, the fact that Daniel Dubois put him down at all. That's when you're supposed to be put down in sparring. Because that's when you're learning. That's what I've always said. People said, oh, it shows Joshua's rubbish. No, it's better you get put down in sparring for training and testing new things out than it is to be put down in... And also, not only that, I actually have a non-conventional view on this. I believe it's also good to be put down in sparring because what it does, it prepares you. It's another experience. It prepares you and teaches you valuable experience with how to deal with getting up many fighters who haven't been put down before in sparring or otherwise. They get put down for the first time and they panic. They jump straight up and their legs are going all over the place. They're not experienced. So in my opinion, it's better to be put down in sparring, practice making a 10-second count, practice collecting your thoughts and preparing to fight again. So I think it's good in that sense. Obviously, you don't want to be getting whooped every day up and down like a yo-yo, but when it happens, it happens. You should use them opportunities to treat it like an in-fight experience. It's no good saying, oh, I'm never going to go down, because unless your name's Floyd Mayweather, and even he's been rocked before. Not for a count, but he's been rocked. So it's good experience, but that's my opinion. Leave your comments below. And let me put a quick disclaimer just before I go. If I am wrong about the Joey Duwaco, the Daniel Dubois situation or whatever, I put my hands in the air. Maybe he wasn't put down 8 days before. I'm happy with that. We'll soon, in 6 months' time, we'll find out. If AJ murks Ruiz, I'm sorry, all this stuff is confirmed. Maybe Daniel Dubois is a liar. Put in the comments below. Do you believe Daniel Dubois is a liar? I don't. I personally don't. And the fact that AJ Hearn have been prepared to defend, I just find it fishy, man. I really do. The whole lot is fishy.com. But if I'm wrong, I do apologise. I'm only essentially speculating. And last thing I will say is, the bottom line is, World Boxing News, they published an article. They said they had sources confirming it happened 8 days ago by Joey Duwaco. So, if they've made it up, you shouldn't be able to pipe fake news. You really shouldn't. And I believe AJ's team and Eddie Hearn, if it didn't happen, should get it taken down. And if that World Boxing News article gets taken down, I'll come on here and say, listen guys, I've been talking the most crap. Because what I've been basing it off is that factual sources, apparently. But I don't know. Let's see what you guys think in the comments below.